Nadimul Haque.
Respected Deputy Chairman, sir, I thank you for allowing me to speak on this bill, which amends the right of children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Sir, first of all, I have to remind this House that in 1976, education by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment was taken out of the state list and put into the concurrent list. Sir, here I would like that it is worth thinking about whether it can be put back, especially in the spirit of cooperative federalism, whether it can be put back into the state list. I ask the Minister to consider this. Sir, regarding this bill, standardized testing is part of a bureaucracy that adds layers of surveillance, mechanisms, and procedures for students to follow. These examinations constrain our youth's possibilities and freedom. Good students are shown to be smart and successful standardized test takers. Their talents and co-curricular performances are largely ignored. The media, coaching industry, and society, including peers, play a part in perpetuating this pressure, thus creating a self-sustaining cycle. Under the right of children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009, no child can be held back in any class until the completion of elementary school, that is classes 1 to 8. The bill amends this provision to empower the central or state government to allow schools to hold back a child in class 5, class 8, or in both classes. Sir, examinations go beyond impacting children, but also changes the nature of teaching, narrows the curriculum, and limits the students' learning. Teachers' tasks increase because they take up work related to teaching in addition to regular teaching duties. As a result, teachers have less time for teaching. Standardized tests also narrow the entire curriculum in many schools, often leaving out subjects such as music, arts, and sports, especially in elementary grades, because they are not included in the tests. Most importantly, standardized tests limits the students' learning because they focus only on cognitive dimensions, ignoring many other qualities that are essential to a student's success. These examinations have different effects on various populations of students, and they usually lead to significant limits on learning among poor and minority students. For example, the scores of poor and minority students are often lower than their peers from better off socio-economic background, and these results can lead to a failure of recognizing their potential. So children primarily undergo stress due to two factors. The first is the hype that surrounds the board examinations. At present, if you see, from the time the students enter class 9, the pressure is relentless to perform in time for the boards. The bill has now preponed this stress by another 5 years. Now the scores in class 5 will be held as a certification of the child's potential. The second cause of stress is the students' inherent belief in their own capabilities. So given the hype and the pressure created, it is easy to start doubting one's own capacity. Coupled with immense amount of peer comparisons, large amounts of curricular material, and long continuous periods of focused study, stress generation is inevitable. The students continually study and memorize large parts of information. Thus, careful considerations need to be given to the students' mental health throughout the year. Professional help is difficult to find because India endures an acute shortage of mental health professionals. There are only 889 psychologists against 20,250 required in the country, and less than 900 psychiatric social workers against the 37,000 needed. Mental health care is a much neglected area in our country to cater to a population of 1.3 billion. India has only about 0.3 mental health professionals and 10 hospital beds per 1 lakh people. Most Western countries spend 4% of the budget on mental health, while India spends only 0.4%. Failing in exams or inability to cope with academics is the primary reason for student suicide. This step to test children at such a young age calls for mental health and wellness to be added to the school curriculum. Student counseling must be made accessible to every child enrolled in school before another set of board examinations to add to the existing stress on children. So Finland, for example, routinely tops rankings of global education systems and is famous for having no banding systems. That is, all people, regardless of ability, are taught in the same classes. Sir, in this front, West Bengal, on the front of education, has been making rapid progress and rapid strides in the last 7 years and under the Mamata Banerjee government. Sir, many of the successes which have been proven in Bengal can be initiated and duplicated on the national level also. The present system of education and examination itself in India is a major hindrance for child development. The standardized testing through board examination in class 5 and class 8 goes on to institutionalize stress on children before they are even old enough to understand the crux of this examination, let alone handle the pressure. Ultimately, this categorizes some youth as unsmart in contrast to an ideal smart citizen. In an age where multiple literacies and talents are more and more valued, standardized testing acts as a form of social control. The objective of testing has become a normal mechanism to test, monitor, and improve children's performances. The idea is to help identify those youth who are not maximizing their potential and may not be productive citizens. Sir, here I have to add a couplet here. हद से बड़े जो इल्म तो है जहल दोस्तों, हद से बड़े जो इल्म तो है जहल दोस्तों, सब कुछ जो जानते हैं वो कुछ जानते नहीं. Sir, I support this bill, but with caution. The government must therefore not merely limit its role in taking examination, but contribute to the holistic development and well-being of the child.
धन्यवाद माननीय नदीमुल हक साहब.